we've all seen this example countless amounts of times right now. There are people who are working in the same field as us, getting even more results, even though they were less qualified than us. And even if they were doing less work, it seemed like the universe seemed to favor them, right? Like some people just naturally get it from birth, some people are just born a certain way, some people are just favored and they literally get so much results while you have to grind and literally do whatever just to get a fraction of the results that they're getting. And it seems like the universe is favoring them. Well, that's because they're favoring themselves. They are on their own side, whether they realize it consciously or subconsciously. Because you see, the universe that you live in is nothing more than the single entity with you. There is no difference between you and the universe. All of that is just caused by a simple illusion that we're gonna talk about in one other video. But for now, you need to realize that the universe responds to your consciousness on earth as it is in heaven, as within, as without. If you closely examine your beliefs, your convictions, your emotionally charged thoughts, your reactions, your exceptions, and mainly your identities that you hold, both about yourself and about the world, you will see that the world is basically a one on one reflection on whatever you're focusing on through these components that I just listed. And that brings us to the topic of today's video. The subject of this video is the first hermetic law of the universe, which is that the universe is entirely mental. And this way of me explaining the first universal law, which is literally the highest priority in this entire universe. Once you master this, everything will make sense, from all of your misfortunes to all of your fortunes. You'll be able to rightly align yourself with the universal flow, and you will understand how everything comes to existence naturally in this universe, and you'll be able to leverage this to its fullest potential, because you do this both consciously and subconsciously. You do this all the time. The universe constantly responds to whatever it is that you're mentally and emotionally aligned to. You just don't realize this. And this way of understanding the first universal law has helped not only just me, but also other people that have watched my videos and that also have worked with me. Manifest jobs, lose weight, get more fit, get a better mental health, get better grades, and etc. Just so many all of these nice results. And it can be easily done for you. All you need to do is just listen and remember that I don't have all the answers. I'm just a student and a human just like you. I am on this path of, personal growth, and yeah, this has helped me a lot. So, yeah, here we go. When you truly self-introspect yourself and you truly think about it, the universe is nothing more than a one-on-one reflection of what it is that you're focusing on. And why? Because you are the incarnation of the infinite, of our infinite creator. Now, without crossing any religious boundaries, whatever you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hinduist, whatever, we can all agree that we come from one creator, one infinite creator. And you see, when we incarnated down into this physical plane, incarnation means setting limits. We became finite. We came down from the infinite creator and we became finite to experience the world of illusions, which is forever changing and it will never be the same. The world of finiteness. And that's why we can only experience a particular aspects of this world. That's why we have all the polarities, right? Like rich and poor, good and bad, masculine and feminine, good and bad, all of these things. Because, you know, trying to understand the infinite through our finite minds is like holding up a cup and trying to fill the entire ocean into it. It's just not going to make sense. And since you are the direct material expression of God, or whatever you want to call it, our infinite creator, then that means that you hold an aspect of this infinite creator within you. That means that you have an endless energy source, which are basically your emotion, we can call them. Your emotion is energy in motion, and your focus or your attention is a centralization of energy. Your attention is so powerful that that on the lowest and on the smallest scales, subatomic particles have literally no other option but to move. Now, of course, once we get into the bigger things, like for example this table over here, it doesn't just move instantly just because you look at it. Of course, the higher you go, the more stable it gets. But what's most important is whatever you're focusing on subconsciously, and that's the most important thing over here, because your subconscious mind, it directs 90% of your attention, and you don't realize it because, once again, it is your subconscious mind. You're not aware of it. You observe the world through your conscious mind, which is logical, rational, and analytical. But your subconscious mind is emotional, abstract, feminine, and spiritual, meaning that it has no logic whatsoever. And like we already said, whatever you focus on is whatever you give your energy in motion, which is literally which is literally what gives life to anything in the physical plane. So whatever you're focusing on 90% of the time is what's going to be true in the physical world, because it is actually your attention and your direct focus on whatever you're focusing on that actually brings it into the physical world. Now, before we before we get ahead of ourselves and you start to say that I'm one of those new age spiritual believers that who believes that you can just sit all day and burn sage and do nothing. No, 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 no. That's not how this goes. Whatever you're focusing on, whether that is fixating on the physical plane that is in front of you, on the realm of illusions, or whether it is your own mind, whether that is a particular belief, a particular thought, a particular conviction, whatever. Once once you start to focus on it hard enough, then you will start to get emotional nudges from your intuition that will actually get you to materialize it into the physical plane. Right? Because we exist on 3 planes of existence. There's the mental plane, there's the spiritual plane, and then there's the physical plane. The mental plane is everything that you can imagine, right? It is every single thought, every single belief, every single conviction, every single expectation, and every single visual scene that you can imagine, just all in there. And then there's the spiritual plane. You can think of it as an oven, for example, right? The faster that you can heat up the oven will determine how fast you can materialize a thought from the mental plane into the physical plane. And the faster that you heat up the oven is determined by how much focus that you put into that mental activity, right? So all that we need to do is just implant a new set of beliefs or expectations or thoughts or ideas into your subconscious mind. Because once that happens, your intuition will change. And your intuition is nothing more than the version of you that is already experiencing that mental activity, whether that is a visual scene, whether that is a belief or an idea. You get the point. Just telling you how you got there. But it's not going to tell you through words. It's going to tell you through the only language that is actually real, the language of God, which is nothing more than emotion, right? Because language is only a human product, and why should the infinite bother communicating through a finite creation? That doesn't make any sense, right? So you will get emotionally compelled to take different things. Like, let me ask you this. Does a fat person try to be fat? Does a poor person try to be poor? Does a millionaire try to be a millionaire? No. They are in the right dominant mental and emotional state that reflects a person being fat, or a person being poor, or a person being a millionaire. And then naturally, they get emotionally compelled to take action that feels literally effortless, that will actually get them and materialize that end result. It is all there. Remember, you're an aspect of the infinite. God became man so that man can become God. And once you correctly align yourself on the mental and emotional planes of existence, which means that you pick the right thoughts, ideas, beliefs, convictions, expectations, and reactions that actually suit your desired reality, extrapolate this to whatever it is that you so desire. And the more that you can focus on it, instead of the physical world, which is forever changing, then, since you're the most powerful energetic source in this entire universe, everything wants your attention and your emotions. That's why in the Hollywood films we have the whole concept of selling your soul to the devil being nothing more than the representation of a soul being completely caught up in the shenanigans of the physical plane, not realizing the true nature of reality, that reality unfolds from you and not to you, that you're the stage, you're the actor, and you're the event at the same time. You just don't realize it because you're experiencing this reality through a finite lens. But yeah, you hold everything that is necessary to materializing your desired reality. You can already start focusing on the reality right now through your mind. And you can start focusing on it more than what the physical plane tells you. And this is not me trying to be ignorant of the physical plane and saying that, oh, it just doesn't exist. No, when contradictions in the physical plane happen and you start to get emotionally swayed, it's okay. Remember, it's okay to be thrown off your mental and emotional state. It is okay to be thrown off your self concept, your frequency, your consciousness, your imagination, whatever you want to call it. But what's not okay is being thrown off that mental and emotional state. And once contradictions do happen, of course, physically, if that is a person, you know, saying stuff like, basically saying contradictions, right? Just lie to them or just, nod and do whatever. But mentally, don't react to them at all. Don't judge them. Don't label them because labels are emotions. And yeah, just don't give it any energy whatsoever. And you'll find out that in 90 seconds, your dominant mental and emotional state will come back. And now probably the second to last question. Yeah, the second to last question. Why don't we want to focus on the physical plane? Well, because, like we already said, the physical plane is nothing more than a reflection of your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is programmed by emotion, which is nothing more than energy in motion, and your focus is a centralization of energy. Meaning that if you focus on the physical plane, which is a realm of illusion, and that's not to say that it is not real, it is. It is just forever changing. So, when you become emotionally dependent on the physical plane when it comes to anything, then you will be in for a rude awakening because it will never happen. You can take as much physical action as possible and it just won't materialize and you won't know why. Well, because the mirror will never smile before you do. And even if you do already have something, then, like for example, money, and it comes to you from a family member, for example, then once that family member goes away, because they won't be here forever, right? The realm of illusions. Everything has to start over here and everything has to end, because nothing is infinite over here. Everything is finite. Then yeah, that money will eventually go away. So that's why it is so important that you start to be mentally and emotionally dependent on the within instead of the without. It is as within as without. Not as without, as within, as within, as without. It first happens mentally, and as you start to focus on it more and more, and it gets impressed onto your subconscious mind, then you need to remember the strongest mental and emotional state always wins. The strongest mental and emotional state always materializes. Because once you start to adopt the mental and emotional state of your desired reality, then you will get the right people, conditions, circumstances, timings, and events, which will actually get you to your desired reality. And who knows, you might be even getting them right now. But since you're not in the right mental and emotional state of someone who already is your desired reality, who already is rich or loved, or extrapolate this to your desired reality, right? Then you're not getting the intuition of that person who got there. You're not emotionally compelled to leverage those opportunities. In fact, you might even not recognize that they're there in the first place. And that's the saddest thing. Many people literally have the solution right in front of their faces their entire lives, and they don't even see them. And even when you take into the consideration the fact that we can only see 0.0035% of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, and that your brain doesn't see, it just takes in those electromagnetic signals, which then get sent to your brain, and then your brain creates an image of what it thinks it is seeing based on its level of consciousness. And that's scary. Because that's really scary, because even in the book Prometheus Rising, it is even proven that your brain constantly receives billions of signals from your 5 physical senses. And your brain interprets them as chaos, and so it starts to filter out everything that it is not aware of. And everything that it is not aware of, it considers as false, it considers as not true. So it all starts with you. I literally gave you the scientific definition right now, so if you're not convinced, I don't know, bro. Like, I cannot do anything for you anymore. Just leave, and yeah, have a nice rest of your life, I guess. But for those who are still listening, I hope that this video helped you a lot. And there's one more thing that I want to cover. Do not worry about the how. Do not worry about how it will materialize. Literally, that is not up to you to decide. It is up to the infinite within you, on the God spark. It is on the God within, on the infinite aspect within you, which will bring you the right people, conditions, circumstances, timings, and events, which might already be in your life already, but you cannot receive them right now because your brain isn't interpreting them as real. And then once you actually observe them, and once you actually recognize that they're there, you will be emotionally compelled to actually go talk to that person, to change this about your website, to speak a different way. And then everything will change so drastically that you won't even recognize it. This has happened for me. This has happened for the guy that I helped get a literal job in acting, and this has helped to Robert, one of our core pillars of the community, who recently told me that by talking to me and also by watching these kinds of videos, he managed to start losing weight. And he literally feels like a tinkling sense in, his fat. So that's a really great sign that he is losing weight. And you don't have to talk to me one-on-one privately. All you need to do is just watch these videos and then actually grasp the concepts and reflect on them, because I make these videos so great that you don't even have to buy my course. But if you feel like there's hidden potential inside of you that you haven't been able to unleash and you know that you can do better, then first link in the description. But if that's not you and you just want to watch these videos, then please do whatever you want. So I hope that this video has helped you. Hopefully by now you recognize the true nature of reality, that you should start focusing on the within instead of the without, because when you have because Sorry. Yeah, tongue twister, yeah. 20 minutes into the video, we're already wrapping up, and yeah, I'm kind of messing up. Whatever. Hopefully by now, you recognize that the universe unfolds from you, not just through your mental activity, but the physical action that you take, that you are emotionally compelled to do, which feels effortless, because like I said, there are people out there who literally go into the gym even when it's snowing, raining, or whether it is 40 degrees Celsius out there. And there are people who just, you know, who take every single excuse and they don't go no matter what. They say stuff like, oh, it's already like 7 p.m. Yeah, tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, they make another excuse and yeah, it just goes over and over and over again. And they never go there in the first place. So yeah, you need to establish your desired reality within as if it was already happening right now, meaning that you must actually think about it really hard about what kind of thoughts, what kind of beliefs, what kind of convictions, what kind of perceptions, what kind of reactions, and what kind of expectations would that version of me reflect of me already having that desired reality? Because once you start to embody that, and since the universe is an extension of you, right? It is a reflection of the infinite, and you're an aspect of the infinite. You just don't realize it because you're a finite being right now, temporarily experiencing this reality through the finite lens of a human. But that's okay because you're still a part of the infinite. And so, once you start to embody it, then the universe will start to slowly embody it too. Because it is you. It's called the universe for a reason. But what you need to realize is what you're embodying both consciously and subconsciously, but mainly subconsciously, because your subconscious mind, yeah, it directs 90% of your focus and thus 90% of your mental and emotional activity, which then brings forth your dominant mental and emotional state, which we can call frequency, self concept, imagination, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, which then brings you to the right intuition, which will then bring you to the things that you're emotionally compelled to do, which you will take physical action, which midwives this frequency into reality. And yeah, there's this delay, I know. It will take some time before it actually materializes, and it might take a long time. And I know that some people just can't stand, being thrown off frequency. Like, for example, a family member will start to talk about, you know, about your future job or whatever, and yeah, you'll be caught off guard. And when that happens, just nod and just lie and whatever. It will be okay because you already have your new frequency getting cooked up. And once that happens, mentally, don't label it and don't react to it. Just observe it. And after like 90 seconds or something like that, it is usually 90 seconds for me, that energy just dissipates and you'll be back in your dominant mental and emotional state. And if you want to impress your subconscious mind even easier than just by focusing, then you can also do meditation, which helps a lot of people because meditation has one thing that the subconscious mind really likes, and that is relaxation. And once you are so sorry, and once you are so relaxed that you can take all of your attention and all of your focus away from the external world and put it into your internal world, then that is the perfect opportunity for you to quote unquote reprogram your subconscious mind. Because your subconscious mind, it doesn't respond to effort, because effort will bring forth your conscious mind, which is rational and logical, which will say that your new mental activity reflecting of your new frequency is bullshit. And relaxation brings forth your subconscious mind, which then you can nicely reprogram it by focusing on the new desired reality of yours. Okay? So hopefully now you have a great understanding of the first law of the universe. The universe is entirely mental, the all is mind, and the mind is all. Because there's nothing in this universe that isn't a part of the infinite. Everything comes from the infinite because, as Neville Goddard said, God is your imagination. That's why we can be creators of our reality, quote unquote. And that's why we are not just passive observers like animals, for example, and we can actually change reality to our liking. And yeah, that's about it. Go reflect on this video. I hope that you took some valuable notes. And yeah, we'll see you next time on the video about the second law of the universe, coming very, very soon. But until then, take care, my timeless reader.